It's 2020! Happy New Year, guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope that you all are doing well, and I hope that you guys brought in the new year in a safe and fulfilling and wonderful way. Today's video, which is the first video of 2020, it's gonna be more of a casual, chit chat, me talking to you kind of video. We're gonna be talking about what it means to be an influencer, the influencer culture, everything pretty much pertaining to influencers. I want you guys to definitely, chime into the conversation by adding your comments. We're gonna get right into it, but it's a new year, but it's the same exact guidelines. Please go ahead and make sure that you hit that red subscribe button if you haven't already. And while you're at it, you might as well turn on your bell notifications so that when I post, you will always be up to date. And I do have some news to share with you guys at the end of this video, so make sure that you stay tuned. Now we can finally get started. One time I was on social media last year and I happened to come across this video that made me question why I was an influencer in the first place. This guy was speaking about, how a lot of influencers post everything that's good in life for the most part. We post, nice photos, nice clothes, material things. And he asked, what exactly are you influencing? Are you influencing people to be frivolous with their money? Are you influencing people to be jealous? Are you influencing people to want things that they don't actually need? I had to take a step back and also ask myself that question, because at the time, I'm gonna be fully honest, I couldn't answer it, which to me was problematic because I have to be intentional with the things that I do. I can't just do things for doing sake. I don't have time for that anymore. For anything that I do to have value, there has to be some type of intention and reason behind it. It took me a few months to actually get to my answer, which I'm gonna get to at the end. But I just wanted to pose that question for now, get your juices flowing, get your mind thinking, okay, especially if you are a social media influencer or you are aspiring to be a social media influencer, this is a question that you should definitely have the answer to. This moves me on to my next point, which is the fact that most people are influencers. Most people may not be social media influencers, but most people are influencers. If you're a father, if you're a mother, if you're a daughter, a sister, a cousin, if you're a friend, you are most likely an influencer. If you have the power to influence someone else's decision, you are an influencer. If someone comes to you seeking your counsel and your advice and they are relying on what you have to say, you are an influencer, because that means that whatever you have to say affects their decision making. Politicians are influencers. Celebrities are influencers. Alcohol and drugs are influencers. That is why if you get caught operating a vehicle with a certain level of alcohol or drugs in your system, you get a DUI, which means driving under the influence, because alcohol and drugs can have that effect on you where it influences your decision making. It dictates your judgment. So all these things and all these kinds of people are influencers. Little kids could be influencers. Believe it or not, when you're a little kid and you're playing around with another little kid and they're saying stuff like,
you should have a Barbie playhouse. Everyone has a Barbie playhouse.
Next thing you know, you as a kid probably run into your parent like,
Mommy, can I get a Barbie playhouse?
Now when it comes to social media influencers, this is when we're taking our influence into the more public space, which is online. And most likely we are making a career out of it. And we're being really aware of the fact that our audience is listening to us. And that is why a lot of brands lately have seen so much value in influencers. It's one thing to have a celebrity promote things, and of course a lot of their followers and fans will probably go buy whatever they wear. But it's also another thing when you have more reachable people like influencers who can sell you things. It's almost like having your friend or your cousin or your sister tell you, this product really worked for me, you should try it. In the situation that you have someone who feels a little closer to you, giving you their advice, giving you their opinions, you may be more likely to listen to them because you feel like their thoughts and their opinions are more truthful than that of like a celebrity. So you'll probably be a little less skeptical. Brands know that audiences will likely put their trust in people who are more relatable and people who are more reachable. Now, moving on to certain social media influencer misconceptions. A lot of people these days, especially the younger generation, want to be influencers. And sometimes I sit back and think, do you really know what goes into being an influencer? Because it's easy to see everything from the outside. It's easy to see us traveling and taking all these beautiful pictures. It's great to see that. That's the whole point, right? But sometimes I just wonder, like, do you know the work that goes behind it? And honestly, I can confidently say that being an influencer is just as time consuming, if not more, than a 9-to-5 job. Trust me when I say that. If you're not paying for help, then you're a one-man show, which means that from the brainstorming of content to the recording, to the editing, to the social media promotions, to, you know, reviewing your analytics, to partnering with brands, all that is on one person. You are your own social media analyst, hairstylist, makeup artist. You are the one who is researching which equipment you need, which equipment you need to upgrade. When you actually get this equipment, you need to learn how to use it. Same for editing software. It looks cool on the outside, and to me, even behind the scenes is cool. But behind the scenes is where the real work happens. You just happen to see the end result and the beautiful picture. I work in advertising. I happen to see a lot of the behind the scenes of, you know, all these ads. So sometimes I see these clips that are like 10, 15 seconds long. But then I'm like, wow, people had to travel for this. Hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars were spent for people to travel to this place, hire the talent, you know, go scouting for the location, hire the photographers and the people who are going to film this whole thing. And they're out for like a week shooting this thing. And at the end, all everyone sees is like this 10 to 15 second video. But they don't see how much work has gone into putting this 10 to 15 second video together. It's not only about the pretty pictures. We don't just get up and take a beautiful picture. And especially if you're working with a brand, you can't just get up and take a pretty picture and post it. You have to go according to the brand's guidelines, which they send you. That actually moves me on to my next point. A lot of people believe that social media influencers have like all the creative autonomy in the world. I have learned that being a social media influencer does not mean that you work for yourself. There is a certain level of freedom that comes with being a social media influencer that may not come with a 9-to-5 desk job. However, once you start with your brand deals, once you start partnering with other brands, you have to realize that you are now technically working for those brands. These brands partner with you, but they also have certain guidelines that you need to follow, which usually states how the product needs to be photographed, what kind of lighting, what kind of colors you need, what kind of caption you need to write. Even after taking this picture and keeping all these things in mind, the picture doesn't just go up on social media. The picture has to now get approved along with the caption. Sometimes they'll tell you, you know, captions can't be more than this length. Captions have to include this and this aspect of the product. Photos cannot have any overlays. Product cannot be photoshopped into the image. So technically you're working for the brand when you are partnering with the brand. Let's say you're not doing brand work and you're just putting out regular social media content. What a lot of people don't actually understand is that we also work for our audience. We're here to serve our audience. I have to put out content that I think you guys would enjoy or that I think would be helpful to you guys. I know that you guys like watching my fashion videos or my hauls or some of my beauty videos. Now imagine one day I decided to get up and put out videos on toothpaste. I have to make sure that my content is aligned with the things that you guys would be interested in. If not, I wouldn't be serving you guys. I would just be putting out content just to put out content. I wouldn't be doing you guys any service if I decide to start making really, really random videos. So at the end of the day, I'm here to serve you. I always have you guys in mind. When I'm brainstorming, I'm like, I wonder what they want to see. Another misconception about social media influencers is that we make easy money. I wish it was easy money. First of all, every influencer gets paid differently. Depending on your audience, you have certain things that you can leverage. or not leverage. So, you know, someone with 1 million subscribers can leverage way more payment than someone with 5,000 subscribers. I just want to let you guys know, if I were to put out, you know, any type of brand work, I don't just put it out and then get paid the next day. It takes time, because usually the campaign that is put out on social media, even though it was approved beforehand, still needs to get approved after it's posted, because some people might tweak their captions or tweak their photos when posting, which if the brand does not approve of that, they're not going to pay you. Once this campaign has been posted on your social media, it's been approved, they'll disperse the payment, but it still takes time for this payment to get to you. So a lot of times you may see us put out a campaign, but we're not really getting paid for it until like a month down the line. So moving on to my next point. What bothers me about the influencer community? When I first found out that I had very, very young followers, I mean like 11-year-olds, I immediately felt a pressure on me. And it wasn't an unhealthy pressure, but it was pressure enough to where I was like, oh, I gotta make sure I'm careful with the way I act, with the way I talk. I don't want to be the reason why anyone makes a bad decision or does anything inappropriate. I don't want to be the reason why someone is not confident about themselves. Like, I just don't want to be that reason. Although a lot of influencers say that they didn't sign up to be role models, at the end of the day, that comes with the package. People now look up to you for certain things. People may not come up to you and say, you're my role model. People may not write to you and say, you're my role model. But you have to understand that you are being watched, especially if you're on social media. So there has to be that sense of responsibility. Some influencers feel like everyone still makes their own choice. That is just a way to deflect responsibility. You do have a say in what people do, and people will follow you. I just wish that more influencers would understand how their content affects their audience, whether it affects their confidence or creates a lack of confidence, whether it, you know, discourages them or encourages them. Be aware of what you're putting out there. On to my final point. What am I influencing? Why am I an influencer? What makes me happiest about the content I put out is when I get feedback or a comment that says, you know, this video really helped me, or, oh, I didn't know that, I'll check that out, or, wow, I've been looking for this kind of product for forever, I didn't even know it existed. These comments really help me to realize that what I'm doing is not in vain. There are people actually seeking this kind of content and being fulfilled by it, being helped by it, being encouraged by it, being well informed by it. A lot of people may see what I'm doing in fashion and beauty as, you know, surface level, right? As something that's vain. But you have to understand that it goes past that. I see what I'm doing as something that's really helpful to people, even if it's just finding pants that are going to be long enough for you. Tall girls, you know, the struggle. These are things that pretty much can plague people's lives, okay? They can really, really inconvenience people. They can make people feel a lack of confidence. And sometimes it's just finding that one product or getting that one piece of advice that can change everything for someone. The reason why I am an influencer is to help people. The Bible says in 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 10, each of you should use whatever gifts you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. So whatever that you have been blessed with is not for you to keep for yourself. It's for you to serve others. I see this as an opportunity to serve you guys. I want to influence people to make more well-informed decisions, to be confident, to be encouraged, to be creative, to be happy. I'm trying to influence anyone I can reach to join the Christian faith. I know that y'all see these Bible quotes in the beginning of my videos. They're not for no reason. I'm just hoping that my videos will be an avenue or an outlet to reach people to decide to seek Christ in some way, shape, or form. I'm hoping that I can be an influence in that sense. So guys, I have done a lot of talking. I actually do want to hear from you guys, whether you agree with what I say or disagree with what I say. Please leave some respectful comments down below and share your honest opinions. Now on to my news. I am back on the blogging scene, guys. Now, for those of you who don't know, I've been blogging for a hot minute. I had to to take a little bit of a lot of a break from blogging because I had to focus on building this YouTube channel. Now I feel like I have a better sense of, you know, what I want to do on my YouTube channel, what I want to do on my blog. So I'm back. If you feel like there's certain content that you're not getting here, for example, tall girls, if you see that I haven't posted a tall video in a while, you want to get tall content, you can go to my blog. For example, I wrote a post about a tall girl brand that I have been collaborating with, which happens to be where this shirt comes from. You can get more of my outfit posts. You can be up to date with any of the campaigns or brand work that I've been doing. So definitely feel free to browse around. I would really appreciate if you guys subscribe. And just to give you guys an extra little push, you might want to read my latest blog post, okay? There may or may not be a little giveaway. I'll go ahead and leave it down below. And while you're at it, you know, you might as well go ahead and follow me on Instagram and also on Twitter at Drusilla Shay Everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all who tune in. Thank you guys for supporting me. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.